Hello teachers, learners, and parents. Sir Jeff po, at your service. Alam nyo ba na meron tayong website na tinatawag na DepEd Commons? Ang DepEd Commons ay binuo upang gawing accessible ang pagtuturo at pag-aaral dito sa ating bansa gamit lamang ang inyong mga smart devices gaya ng cellphones, tablets, at computers. Dito ay maaari nating ma-access ang iba't ibang learning materials mula sa Department of Education. Meron itong mga interactive materials, electronic self-learning modules, at instructional video lessons mula sa DepEd TV na tiyak na makatutulong sa pag-aaral ng mga mag-aaral galing ka man sa public o private school. Walang problema dahil welcome ang lahat dito. Para ito sa mga guro, magulang at mga mag-aaral mula sa kinder hanggang grade 12, alternative learning system o ALS, at pati na rin ang special education. At huwag kang mag-alala dahil kahit walang load ay maaari mong ma-access ang mga learning materials. Tama! Libre ito. Ang kailangan mo lamang gawin ay i-on ang iyong data at buksan lamang ang iyong browser at i-type ang commons.deped.gov.ph. Alam na ba ng iyong mga kasamahang guro o mag-aral ang tungkol sa DepEd Commons? I-share mo na ang video na ito upang matuto rin sila kung paano gagamitin ang DepEd Commons sa mabilis at napakadaling paraan. Muli, ito po si Sir Jeff at kita-kits po tayo sa DepEd Commons. Paalam!
Magandang araw! Sir Wilbur po, at your service. Narito ang ETULay upang gabayan ka sa inyong pag-aaral upang lubos na maunawaan ang iba't ibang paksa o subject. Ang ETULay ay isang free online tutorial class na pinangungunahan ng ICTS Educational Technology Unit sa pamumuno ni Undersecretary Elaine Del B. Pascua. Ang programang ito ay hindi lamang para sa mga bata, kundi ito rin ay magsisilbing gabay sa mga magulang at mga guro kung paano nila ituturo o gagabayan sa bawat asignatura ang kanilang mga anak o mga estudyante. Sa kasalukuyan, ang self-learning module mula sa rehiyon ng Calabarzon at kilala sa tawag na Pivot ang ginagamit sa ating ETULay online class. Kaya ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Ihanda na ang inyong mga ballpen o lapis, papel o kwaderno at samahan kaming itulay ang pagkatuto para sa bawat batang Pilipino. Sama-sama tayong magtutulungan para malampasan ang mga hamon sa panahong ito. Halina't matuto kasama ang inyong online tutor sa oras na ito.
Good afternoon to all the parents, teachers, and senior high school learners all over the Philippines watching us live through DepEd Edtech Unit, DepEd Philippines, DepEd Tayo Facebook pages, and DepEd TV official on YouTube. We are on the 6th week of the 21st Century Literature from the Philippines and the World subject, and we are using the ADM module. So be ready with your modules, your paper, your pen, your pencil, as we journey in the amazing world of 21st century literature. As we go on with our tutorial this afternoon, you can comment down your answers for the activities in the comment section below, and I am going to read your answers as we go along. Good afternoon po sa lahat. Good afternoon, Zumbi Plaza watching from Siargao Division, watching from Agusan del Sur, watching from Banayal High School, Tulunan, Cotabato, watching from Malo, PCHS, Yaton, District 3. Watching from Tarlac City Division. Hello po sa inyong lahat. Good afternoon. I am Sir Rafi, and I am your tutor for today's subject, which is 21st Century Literature from the Philippines and the World for senior high school. So let's begin. Okay, here's our first slide. Sir, our slide, please. Watching from Consuelo High School, Macabebe, Pampanga. Watching from Ilocos Sur, hello. Watching from Virac, Catanduanes. Watching from Las Piñas. From Tacorong Private Pilot Elementary School. Watching from Antique, hello po sa inyong lahat. Once again, this is Sir Rafi and you are tuning in sa ETULay ng DepEd Edtech Unit. This is 21st Century Literature from the Philippines and the World for Senior High School. Week 6, and our topic is writing, a close analysis and critical interpretation of literary text, applying a reading approach. All right, so now, the first activity that we are going to have is you are going to guess the hidden words that are associated with reading through the configuration. So you're going to fill in the boxes that we have here as your clues. Item number one, done at speed 3 to 4 times faster than normal reading. What do you think is the correct answer, senior high school learners? Yes, the correct answer is skimming. So skimming is done at a speed 3 to 4 times faster than normal reading. Next, item number two, quickly reading a text to get the summary of it. Quickly reading a text to get the summary of it. The correct answer is scanning. That's scanning. All right. So item number three. Proceed with item number three. So you are going to guess the hidden words. Number three is an approach that takes a large amount of reading. It starts with letter E, followed with X, followed by X, and it ends with letter E. What do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is extensive reading. All right. So let's have item number four. Item number four, an action or skill or reading written or printed matter silently or aloud. The correct answer is reading. Ayan, nag-answer. Leilani R. Mario Briza. Rashin Hika. Leilani R. Mario Juliet Anog. Mark Apales. Who else? Juliet Anog, Leilani Briza, Ninita Soriano Lingad. Hello, hello, hello. Let's proceed with item number five. Item number five, a way of dealing with something. A way of dealing with something. We have approach. Yes. So the words that we have encountered in this activity we are going to discuss each one of them later. All right. So let's first have reading approach. Now, reading approach. So what is a reading approach? So reading approach, by reading, you will know about the different culture, by reading across cultural understanding, and learn how to pronounce the words correctly. And in reading approach, you are also expected to improve your English skills. And next, all right, so nag-appear kanina ang word na skimming. So ano nga ba talaga ang skimming? Skimming is in skimming, the main idea of a text is quickly identified. The goal is to read shorter texts to extract accurate, detailed information. Skimming is done at speed 3 to 4 times faster than regular reading. People often skim when they have lots of material to read in a limited amount of time. Next, we have scanning. So ano naman ang scanning? Scanning involves moving eyes quickly down the page, seeking specific words and phrases. Scanning is also used for the reader to find answers to the questions. Okay, so ano naman ang extensive reading? Extensive reading is an approach to language learning, including foreign language learning, by means of a large amount of reading. So marami-raming pagbabasa ang gagawin mo dito. So the reader's view and review of unfamiliar words in a specific context will allow the reader to infer the word's meaning and to learn unknown words. Okay, for our activity number 1, entitled Read Me. For your activity number 1, if you are ready to answer, activity number 1, please comment down. Ready! Ready na ba ang ating mga senior high school learners to answer our activity number 1? Let's check sa comment section kung ready na ba sila. Right, ready na. Okay, so activity 1, read me. So I assume that you already read the selection Chechnya by Anthony Mara on page 7 and 8 of your module. And this time we are going to answer the questions that follow. Hello, watching from Malapata National High School, Sarangani Division. Hello, Yvonne Celestial Palses. Hello, watching from EB Magalona. Congrats, Sir Rafi. Ma'am Annalyn Di Malaluan, hello. We also have from Dr. Jose Lapu Salonga High School, Arlene Agustin. Yes, stay tuned. If you have brothers, sisters, or friends, or if you know someone who are in senior high school and taking up 21st century literature from the Philippines and the world subject, don't hesitate to share this live stream sa kanila. All right. So let us answer activity 1. This time we are going to fill out the table with setting and character. Use the skimming as a reading technique. All right. So we have here 4 columns. One column is for the literary element required. Next, question, and then the answer on the last column. Now, the literary element is setting, and the question is, where and when did the story happen? All right, in the selection Chechnya, where and when the story happened. All right. Hello po, watching from Dabla, Katipunan, Zamboanga del Norte. Good afternoon, watching from SDO, Silay City. Hello, Sir Rafi. Hello, de. Hello din sa inyong lahat. And the answer is, of course, the story happened in a hospital during the Chechnyan War. Next. Oh, there goes the answer already. All right, so next, character. Who are the characters in the story? So the main characters in the story, if you can clearly see the screen, please read with me. The main characters in the story are Sonja and Ahmed. Sonja is a dynamic character wherein she underwent a change in disposition in life due to the passing of her sister. Ahmed is a determined father and also a dynamic character as shown at the end of the story wherein he was saddened by the realities happening in the hospital. Now, what descriptions were given about the setting of the story? For your comprehension check, you are going to answer the questions that follow to test your understanding. Make sure na bit-bit nyo po ang inyong mga self-learning modules at inyong mga lapis, ballpen, at inyong mga sagutang papel. Number 1, what descriptions were given about the setting of the story? Let's check. The story happened in a hospital in Chechnya. The story implies that this happened during the war, right? So that's the setting of the story. The story took place at Chechnya during the war. Number 2, what seems to be the conflict? What seems to be the conflict surrounding the story? Of course, external conflict. The conflict evident in the story is the external conflict surrounding the country of Chechnya in the course of the war that is happening at that time. And number 3, what was the deal made by Sonja and Ahmed? The deal made by Sonja and Ahmed is that if Sonja adopts his daughter, he will work in the hospital. So Ahmed wanted his daughter to be adopted by Sonja. In return, he will still be working in the hospital. Number 4, what change in attitude was evident in the main character of the story and at the beginning and at the end. Right. So the main character had a big change in attitude from the beginning compared to the end. The story reveals that the loss of her sister to the war is partly the reason for his indifference towards his job. And number 5, why was it important for the writer to narrate the events that happened during the war that reveal traditions in Chechnya? So the answer for that is the importance of the writer narrating the events is that it gave the readers ideas on how difficult those times in the hospital during the war that eventually changed the character's outlook in life. So if you can remember, people working in the hospitals, if you can imagine kung ano ka chaotic yung pangyayari sa hospital during the war. People are coming in and out of the hospital, the wounded people. All right, so here for activity 2, scan me. Read and understand the story below and answer the questions that follow. If you are ready for activity 2, please comment down ready. All right, please comment down ready. Good afternoon, Ruth Santos Arsenio, Marcus J. Arafan from CCNHS. Watching from Bogo City, Cebu. Hello, Fritzy Orsal. Watching from PNHS. Good afternoon sa lahat. Watching from Santa Ana Fishery National High School, Cagayan. Hello po sa inyong lahat. All right, so are you ready with activity 2? This time, I'm going to read the story. So make sure na nakikinig talaga kayo. If you can clearly see what's on screen, please read with me. All right, this story is written by Eva Ibotson. Adaptation from The Journey to the River Sea. Maya is an orphan. Her only guardian is a lawyer named Mr. Murray, whose only responsibility is to help her with the small amount of money her parents have left her when they died. Then Maya learned that her relatives, the Carters, would be willing to take care of her. When a note written by the Carter twins, Gwendolyn and Beatrice, arrives, Maya makes up her mind to go live with the Carters in their house on the Amazon. She travels there with Miss Minton, her new tutor. On the boat from England, she meets Clovis King, a struggling child actor. The two quickly became friends. Maya is very excited to live with the Carters. She imagines that she and the twins will become the best of friends and that they will have a wonderful time together. However, the only reason the Carters took Maya in was her money. So, yun na pala yung reason kung bakit gusto nilang si Maya na doon tumira sa kanila because of Maya's money na iniwan sa kanya ng kanyang mga parents. In reality, Gwendolyn and Beatrice are selfish. They hate Maya before they even know her. Maya feels like being with the Carters is like being in prison. Soon, however, she meets Finn, who's running away from the private detectives known as the Crows. They are trying to force Finn to return to England and claim his inheritance. When Clovis committed a mistake in a play where he belongs, he goes to Maya for help because his acting company fires him. She and Finn hide him in a hidden lagoon where Finn lives and devise a plan to get Clovis back to England. Finn, Maya, and Clovis plan to make the Crows believe that Clovis is Finn, so Clovis pretended to be Finn. Meanwhile, in England, Clovis confesses that he is not the real Finn and wishes to go home, which causes Sir Aubrey, Finn's father, to have a heart attack. The real Finn goes to his father's home to help Clovis reveal the truth. In the end, Mrs. Carter, Beatrice, and Gwendolyn returned to England to become servants of their wealthy relative. However, Maya, Miss Minton, and Clovis all returned to Brazil. Finn inherits all his family's money and possessions. So that's the story of the adaptation from The Journey to the River Sea by Eva Ibotson. Now, let's answer. Let's answer the questions. Right? Watching from Iligan City, hello. Watching from Kidapawan City Division, hello po sa inyong lahat. Now, for this activity, are you ready? We are going to fill out the table with a point of view, conflict, and theme. Right? We are going to use scanning as a reading technique. So make sure hawak nyo po ang inyong mga self-learning modules. So we have here 3 columns, 1 column for the literary element, 1 column for the questions, and 1 column for the answer. Right? In the second row, we have point of view. The question is, who is narrating in the story? So point of view. Who do you think is narrating in the story? Please comment down your answers in the comment section. Go. Okay, so the one narrating in the story, watching from Taytay Rizal, hello Sherilyn Borromeo. So the answer is, the story is being narrated by a narrator. So the one narrating the story is not one of the characters. So the point of view used in this passage is the third person point of view, or the omniscient point of view. All right. So the story is being told by a narrator. Then conflict. What is the struggle of the main character? What is the struggle of the main character? Ano kaya yung struggle ni Maya? She was left with a little amount of money because she was an orphan already. Pumunta siya sa lugar ng mga Carters, and she thought they will accept her as she is. And pero the reason pala na inaccept siya is they wanted to get the money from Maya, or gusto nilang makuha yung pera ni Maya na iniwan sa kanya ng kanyang parents. So the answer, she was only taken care of by her relatives because of her money. Yun na nga, no? So Maya thought that she thought na magiging best friends sila talaga ng Carter twins, si Gwendolyn at ni Beatrice. But unluckily, no, when all the events turned out, no, she felt like she was in prison daw when she was there sa poder ng mga Carters. And now, what is the idea the story is focusing? Of course, struggles of life, and of course, life is filled with tough challenges. Okay, so let's proceed. The story was quite interesting. Now answer the questions that follow to test your understanding. Number 1, what problems did Maya experience during her travel to Brazil? Watching from Taytay Rizal, from Division of Marinduque, from Iligan City. Okay, what problems? What are the problems? What problems did Maya experience during her travel to Brazil? So here it is. She was hated by her cousins. No, she was hated by her cousins, and she felt like the place that she was staying in was like prison daw. Next, what are the characteristics of Gwendolyn and Beatrice? According to the story, according to the passage, Beatrice and Gwendolyn are selfish. And number 3, what life lessons did she learn from her friends Finn and Clovis? Work hard and strive for the best, and pwede din be tough, be strong, at maging strong sa in facing all the challenges that life has to offer. Okay? Next, assessment 2.2, critical reading check. This is Shiminawa by Naoko Kumugai. Make sure, if you can see the screen clearly, you can read with me. All right, so here we go. Shiminawa by Naoko Kumugai. This is a story I was told. It was August 1973. My brother Jiro was 4, sitting at dinner. Itidakimasu, my uncle said. Jiro picked up onigiri, a rice ball, with his hands and mashed it into his mouth. Fish and rice on his plate, untouched. He stuffed another onigiri in his mouth, bits of rice falling. Jiro-chan, a warning from my mother. Jiro opened his mouth wide, splayed his tongue covered with tiny white beads of rice. Kazuya stood up and roughly pulled Jiro out of his chair. What are you doing? My mother asked, getting up. Kazuya went out of the back door, carrying Jiro firmly under his arm. With the other hand, he picked up a circle of rope hanging on a fence by the shed. In the yard was a large oak tree with heavy twisted branches. He wrapped the rope around my brother's once, then pushed him to the trunk of the oak, winding the rope around and around. He must eat his dinner properly. My uncle tied a thick knot at the end. He needs to learn to be a man. My mother was shouting at my uncle. Jiro was screaming, the sound flooding the sky. Kazuya went back into his house, relaxed and entitled, as if he had just finished a long day's work. No one remembers the rest. My mother forgave my uncle. My father wasn't there. Can't recall any of it. He jokes that incident is possibly the reason why he always intuitively eats everything on his plate. So I find this story funny, but it really makes sense, no? So the reason Jiro thought the reason why daw na he always makes sure that he finished all his food in his plate is because of this experience that he had way back. Right. So now let us answer the questions. Shiminawa is rice straw or hemp. It is festooned in some sacred landmark. The story is entitled that way because the Shiminawa is a straw or hemp. No? So, why do you think the story was entitled Shiminawa? Because Shiminawa is that rope na ginamit as a tool for punishment kay Jiro. Next question. Onigiri may be wrapped with seaweed and could be similar to sandwich by the West. Onigiri is what do you think? You can scan the entire passage because you can find your answer there. Onigiri is a rice ball. All right, number 3. The main characters in the story were Kazuya and Jiro. Kazuya is the uncle and Jiro was the one na tinali sa oak tree. Number 4, itadakimasu, my uncle said. Jiro picked up onigiri, a rice ball with his hands and mashed it into his mouth. The one telling the story was... Who do you think is telling the story? The one telling the story was Jiro's older brother. Number 5, the setting of the story was in East Asia. Specifically, the setting was in Japan because, okay, so this time you are going to prove your answers by extracting the text to justify your answer. Right? So if you can see, the names of the characters and the other terms are used, mga Japanese terms, no, and mga Japanese names. Let's proceed. Asia is known for having a close family ties. The family tradition being presented in the story was eating meal together. No? Kahit dito sa atin sa Pilipinas, we always eat meal together. No? Sama-sama sa isang hapagkainan. Because a family that eats together is a happy family. All right, so the story shared a specific culture in the country. The culture shared was the use of force in disciplining a child. Number 8, in the story, Jiro was not eating properly. So Kazuya stood up and roughly pulled Jiro. Write what Kazuya did to Jiro. What did Kazuya do to Jiro? So Kazuya tied Jiro in the oak tree. Number 9, Kazuya did something hard to Jiro. Write the reason why Kazuya did that kind of punishment to Jiro. Bakit kaya ginawa ni Kazuya yun kay Jiro? Because he wanted Jiro to eat properly and be a man. And number 10, years had passed and Jiro could not recall what happened before. Write what positive effect the incident has brought to Jiro. What do you think was the positive effect that this incident brought to Jiro's life? Because of this, Jiro makes sure to eat everything on his plate. All right, so let's proceed. Activity 3, newly learned. If you're ready with activity 3, comment down ready. So for activity 3, you are going to fill out the table with words you don't know the meaning of from the two selections, Chechnya by Anthony Mara and Adaptation from the Journey to the River Sea by Eva Ibotson. Chechnya. For Chechnya, here are the words. Ano yung mga words na you found very, very hard to understand? Cot. What is a cot? It is a camp bed. Right. Next, we have trauma. What is a trauma? A trauma is a deeply distressing and disturbing experience. Next, resuscitation. The action of making something active or vigorous again. And number 4, repatriated. What do we mean when we say repatriated? Repatriated means returning to one's own country. Cardiology. Cardiology means the branch of medicine that deals with diseases and abnormalities of the heart. So let's read each word. Cot. Read with me. Cot. A camp bed. Trauma. A deeply distressing and disturbing experience. Resuscitation. The action of making something active or vigorous again. Repatriated. Returned to one's own's country. And cardiology, the branch of medicine that deals with diseases and abnormalities of the heart. Next, let's have the words that you have learned from the story, The Journey to the River Sea. So here are the words. Lagoon. So what is a lagoon? It is a stretch of salt water separated from the sea by a low sandbank or coral reef. Inherit. What do we mean when we say inherit? To receive something as an heir after the death of the previous holder. Guardian. A person who looks after and is legally responsible for someone. Orphan. An orphan is a child whose parents are already dead. And number 5, confess. Or to admit or state that one has committed a crime or fault. Okay, let's go back with the first word, lagoon. Read with me, lagoon. A stretch of salt water separated from the sea by a low sandbank or coral reef. Inherit. To receive something as an heir after the death of the previous holder. Number 3, guardian. A person who looks after and is legally responsible for someone. Number 4, orphan. A child whose parents are already dead. Number 5, confess. To admit or state that one has committed a crime or fault. So in this tutorial, we have learned that reading approach is an approach wherein students like you are demanded to read more to improve your knowledge and to get new ideas. It is in reading that you get to travel to places. It is in reading that you get to experience something that you were not able to experience before. It is in reading that you get to know people in the past. And second, student, you will know about the different culture or the difference of culture by reading across cultural understanding. And in reading approach, students are expected to improve their English skills. And in skimming, the main idea of text is quickly identified. And skimming is done at the speed 3 to 4 times faster than a normal reading. Number 6, skimming works well to find dates, names, and places. Scanning is quickly reading a text to get the summary of it. Scanning is quickly reading a text to get the summary of it, okay? So scanning involves moving eyes quickly down the page, seeking specific words and phrases. And extensive reading is an approach where the readers view and review unknown words in specific contexts that will allow the reader to infer the word's meaning to learn unfamiliar words. And extensive reading is sometimes called free voluntary reading. Okay, so that's it for our tutorial for today. If you have little brothers and sisters, you can invite them to watch English 4 2:40 p.m. every Tuesday. And of course, if you have friends next time, you invite your friends to watch this live stream with you for 21st century literature from the Philippines and the world every 5:20 p.m. 5:20 p.m. to 6 p.m. every Tuesday. I am Sir Rafi B. Thank you so much for being with us today. You can also follow me and you can also subscribe to my channel, my YouTube channel. Rafi B is here. I have other contents for senior high school. I have video uploads for contemporary Philippine arts from the region. So see you all next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Sigurado ako na marami ka na namang natutuhan sa ating ETULay tutorial session ngayong araw. Tandaan, ito ay hindi lamang para sa ating mga mag-aaral, kundi pati rin sa ating mga minamahal na guro at mga magulang na kaagapay natin para maituloy ang pagkatuto sa kabila ng nararanasang pandemya. Patuloy ding sumubaybay sa DepEd TV para sa mga araling ginawang video episodes. Mapapanood ito mula Lunes hanggang Sabado, alas 7 ng umaga hanggang alas 7 ng gabi sa inyong mga telebisyon. Abangan bukas mula 1:00 ng tanghali ang iba pang aralin sa ating ETULay free online tutorial session sa Filipino. I-like and subscribe at manatiling nakasubaybay sa ating ETULay tutorial session sa DepEd Edtech Unit FB page at Educational Technology Unit channel sa YouTube at sa DepEd Tayo at DepEd Philippines social media accounts. Paalam!